Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Wendy here, and if you are new here, welcome. So today is going to be a little bit different on my channel. Sorry if these glasses are offensive. They're a little large. They're my Elton John reading glasses. I told you guys before, I leave glasses all over the house, and these were the closest to me, so I grabbed them. They're reading glasses, so I usually don't wear them outside the house, but they were the closest thing to me, so I grabbed them. So I know they're not the most stylish, but they work. So anyway, today I'm going to do something a little bit different. First of all, I hope everybody is doing well. It has been a very long week. I know I say this every week, but this week was really just a long week. Just a lot going on this week. So I am very happy that it is Happy Friday. Yay! Happy Friday, guys. So yeah, so it's a long weekend too. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I hope you guys have some time to enjoy reading this weekend. I know I am definitely getting reading in because I really have not been reading as much as I would like because it's just been a very busy week. But I am definitely going to get some reading in this weekend. So today is a little different. I thought I would do something a little different. So before I started reading fiction, I was primarily a nonfiction reader. And then I slowly started over the last year or so getting into fiction books. And so I still read nonfiction books, but I have some here that are my favorites, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So I wanted to do that. So one of the first books that I've read this book many times. My husband has read it. I don't even know. I don't think anybody told me about this book, but I came across it on, I think it was Amazon, and the name of this book is called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And it is supposed to be a true account of a sister's sort of journey that she had with her brother that was deceased. And see if I can, there's so many. This book I loved. It's a really short book. It's about 190 pages, but it says here, I'll read you a little bit of the foreword. This fascinating book may initially surprise and baffle some readers. After all, the events it recounts may seem completely unbelievable and far beyond reality. Therefore, I am grateful to Dr. Kagan, that is the author. This is the sister of the deceased brother that she wrote about, for asking me to write this foreword, because it gives me an opportunity to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the incredible world of the ancient Greek philosophers. The average American will probably find Dr. Kagan's narrative of her otherworldly adventures with a deceased brother hard to believe. That is too bad, though, because the Greek philosophers who founded Western thought knew full well about the remarkable phenomenon she describes. In fact, Greek philosophers even had a name for the people who were somehow suspended between this life and the next life. They called such people walkers between the worlds. So this foreword is by Dr. Raymond Moody, and it says the experiences Dr. Kagan relates are completely consistent with the kind of role walkers between the worlds played in antiquity, and that is no surprise to me. I think that such experiences are part of the collective psychological heritage of humankind, not artifacts of any one culture. I suspect there are plenty of other people like Dr. Kagan, however. Westerners have developed an utterly false impression that experiences like hers are impossible or even pathological. In 2006, I conducted a seminar on grief for professionals and hospice workers. A middle-aged businesswoman who worked for the organization asked me about something that happened to her when she was almost killed. She was severely injured in a car crash and left her body at the scene. She immediately saw an old man in a gray robe standing beside the road. The man had an extremely long gray beard, carried a staff, and wore an odd hat. And she felt it was there to carry her across. She felt that he was there to carry her across the afterworld. Incidentally, I hadn't mentioned Menopause or any other walkers between the worlds during my presentation. The woman spontaneously related her experiences out of her own curiosity. I suspect some encounters have been with us for thousands of years and no doubt occur to quite a few individuals. Dr. Kagan's thought-provoking account is an excellent example. So this book is just, it says, let Billy Fingers take you on a journey to the world which awaits you when you leave this earthly shell. So a lot of people, if you believe, I believe in metaphysical stuff and spiritual stuff, and I believe that we, in my own beliefs, I believe that we don't die. I believe that we just transition. Because we are energy, and energy, you can't kill energy. And I've had enough experiences happen to me where I know that to be true. So this book takes you through a journey of her encounters after her brother is in a horrific car crash that kills him. The experiences that she has after that are nothing less than incredible. She has conversations with him, and she starts to speak to him and he to her, and she hears him, and he gives her messages and like little sort of riddles that shows to her that he is really speaking to her and she's not just losing her mind. Of course, after he died, she went through tremendous grief. And her brother, it says, how my bad brother proved to me there's life after death. My bad boy brother. He was kind of mixed up with bad people throughout his life. And, she would hear from him when he was in trouble through the years. So she always knew he wasn't exactly living, a moral life, a life that was, good. But when this happened, she started hearing from him like almost every day. So it was really, it's a really fascinating book. Like I said, I've read it several times. My husband read it, and if you believe, that life goes on, this book is just, I can't say enough about it. It's truly, truly a great book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. So if you haven't checked it out already and you are interested in this type of thing, please pick it up. You will not be disappointed, and you will read it again and again. You can see how worn, it's kind of worn. I don't know if you could see it, but we've read it several times each. And it's by Annie Kagan. I think she lives on the East Coast still, and she is I believe she's a chiropractor, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was written by his sister. So that's that book. The next book that I read is called Already Here, A Doctor Discovers the Truth About Heaven. And this is, of course, a nonfiction book. And it says, excuse me, Already Here tells of the death of Leo Gallen's son, Christopher, at age 22. The direct visual evidence Christopher showed Leo that our souls do go on, and the communications from Christopher's spirit that dramatically changed Leo's understanding of life and its meaning. In life, Christopher was a brain-damaged special needs child who challenged everyone he knew with his unpredictable behavior and uncanny insights. After his death, he revealed to Leo the real purpose of his life as a spiritual guide who taught others by confounding their assumptions and expectations. And he began to share with Leo a new perspective on everything from the nature of good and evil to the notion that the universe is fundamentally an act of love. Christopher's wisdom was revealed to Leo over the course of a year. into these themes: the gift of the opposite, the gift of presence, and the gift of timelessness. Leo quickly came to realize that these gifts were not for him alone. They contain ancient wisdom held sacred in many traditions that Chris intended him to share with others. He has written this book to do just that. So it's a dialogue with his son. His son did pass away. It's written by a doctor, Dr. Leo Galland, and he has received international recognition as a clinician and a researcher. This book is incredible too. His son with special needs, and it shows how his son communicates with him after he dies. And this, again, is a fascinating book. It's a quick read as well. I know I read this in a day. It's like 130 pages, but check this out. Again, if you believe this type of thing and you like reading about it, and these books are just, both of them are incredible books. The next book I have, this is more of a well-known book, and many of you probably have read this book, but my husband and I are big Wayne Dyer fans. He has passed, which is incredibly sad because he was a brilliant author and just a wonderful humanitarian, and he believed in all of this metaphysical and spiritual. He's a very, very spiritual person, and he did many PBS shows and written many, many books. He had a PhD too, so he was a brilliant man. And he introduced this author on one of his shows because he had met her and was so taken by her story that he, when she wrote a book, he promoted her book because he could not believe what a fascinating story this was. And this book is by Anita Moorjani, and it's called Dying to Be Me: My Journey from Cancer to Near Death to True Healing. And this, another incredible book as well. It says, in this truly inspirational memoir, Anita Moorjani relates how after fighting cancer for almost 4 years, her body began shutting down. Overwhelmed by the malignant cells spreading throughout her system, as her organs failed, she entered into an extraordinary near-death experience where she realized her inherent worth and the actual cause of her disease. Upon regaining consciousness, Anita found that her condition had improved so rapidly that she was released from the hospital within weeks without a trace of cancer in her body. Within these pages, Anita recounts stories of her childhood in Hong Kong, her challenge to establish her career and find true love, as well as how she eventually ended up in that hospital bed where she defied all medical knowledge. As part of a traditional Hindu family residing in a largely Chinese and British society, Anita had been pushed and pulled by culture and religious customs since she was a little girl. After years of struggling to forge her own path while trying to meet everyone else's expectations, she had the realization, as a result of her epiphany on the other side, that she had the power to heal herself, and that there are miracles in the universe that she'd never even imagined. In Dying to Be Me, Anita freely shares all she has learned about illness, healing, fear, being love, and the true magnificence of each and every human being. This is a book that definitely makes the case that we are spiritual beings having a human experience and that we are all one. And it's just incredible. This book is very short too. It's 180 pages. I read this in a couple of hours, but it shows, it does show how her culture, how she felt very pushed into many things as a woman in her culture. Her father passed in this book, and she talks about connecting with him again and seeing him again, and they didn't have such a great relationship. But it really shows that we are spiritual beings having a human experience and not the other way around. Again, like I said, depending on what your beliefs are, I myself truly believe this. And guys, I can't get enough of books like this. That's one of my other, I don't know if you'd call it a passion, but I am very, very interested in metaphysical and stories like this and this topic in general, because I truly believe that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And there's been thousands, if not millions, of stories of people who have experienced things that cannot be explained. I know science tries to, explain away experiences that people have, but it's too common and it happens time and time again, and to just, explain it away. And like I said, I've had experiences in my life that I know are truly spiritual, and are not just coincidences. And I also don't think that there's any coincidences in the universe either. So yeah, so definitely pick this up, Dying to Be Me. Again, if you like this type of stuff, if you're interested in it, you won't be disappointed. They are fascinating stories. Anita Moorjani also has an Instagram, and I think she's on YouTube as well. She's just a fascinating woman with an unbelievable story. So check this out. And this book is not a metaphysical book, but I have this book a while. It is called Henry David Thoreau. It's called Walden. It's the 150th anniversary illustrated edition of the American classic. The cover is absolutely gorgeous on this book. And the pictures are just gorgeous as well. I mean, I can't even describe how beautiful they are. There's some of them. And I included this book as well because I just had forgotten that I had it. It's just absolutely, trying to get some really close pictures guys to see just how beautiful they are. And it says, in Walden, Thoreau gives us a sense of place. We see this place through his eyes, walk in his footsteps. We can go there and directly experience it as it was 150 years ago, trace the same pathways, and share an intellectual and aesthetic proprietorship. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. In Walden Woods, the five-needled facile that defines a white pine and the swift patrolling flight of a territorial red admiral butterfly assume personal meaning. They and 1,000 details endure here. Nature keeps. If humanity abandoned Walden, it would be very much the same in 1,000 years as it was 1,000 years ago. So Henry David Thoreau was just a few days short of his 28th birthday when he built a cabin on the shore of Walden Pond and began one of the most famous experiments in living in American history. Apparently, he did not originally intend to write a book about his life at the pond, but 9 years later, in August of 1854, Houghton Mifflin's predecessor, Ticknor and Fields, published Walden, or A Life in the Woods. At the time, the book was largely ignored, and it took 5 years to sell out the first printing of 2,000 copies. It was not until 1862, the year of Thoreau's death, that the book was brought back into print. So this book is just, I've never read it yet. I loved the pictures in this book. I would love to read it. It's a book that would take some time. I mean, it's 272-page big book. And it's absolutely gorgeous pictures. Look at that. If you could see that. But I just loved the pictures. Like, it's one of those books that I would keep, like you keep on a coffee table maybe. And you would just look at the pictures and enjoy the book. The nature pictures are absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's my other book that I found this book, and I just wanted to share it because it's absolutely beautiful. And so yeah, that is my, that is my, my little nonfiction book, books that I wanted to show you. Like I said, I used to only read nonfiction books, but I slowly over the last year or so got into fiction books, and I enjoy both equally. In fact, I read more fiction books now than nonfiction books, but I do love a good nonfiction book as well. And that is a subject that I really am interested in. It just fascinates me because, it's life, and it's the afterlife. And I think that I know that we all go on because we are energy. And so you can't kill energy. So all these experiences that people have had are not coincidental by any means. And so check out these books. Even if you're on the fence about it, you will totally enjoy these books. They are just fascinating stories. And, they're not written by just anybody. I mean, these people are brilliant. There's doctors, and I mean, so it's not like, you know, I mean, there's just as many ordinary, I mean, everyday, not that doctors aren't ordinary, but I mean, you know, they are intelligent people who have experienced this. You know, doctors go by science, and these doctors have actually, this doctor in particular on the one book already there, experienced all these things with his deceased son. So check him out. And that's it. That is a wrap for this edition of Book It with Wendy. Apollo, you can't see him. I don't want to turn the camera around, but he is laying down watching me. If you guys saw my last video about what brings me joy, I wanted to just say, and I didn't say it in, I forgot to say it or whatever in my last video, that I did say there's other things that bring me joy, and I did want to reiterate that again. Of course, my children I mentioned, my husband of almost 30 years this year brings me great joy. My mom, who, knock wood, is going to be 89 next week. She's been battling some serious health issues, but prayers for her. I believe miracles happen every day, and she is one of the strongest women I know. So so I am going to keep my faith as always. And there's just so many things. You guys bring me joy every week when I do these videos for you. You truly do. It's one of my favorite things that I look forward to every week. And reading, of course, is one of the biggest joys of my life. So there's many, but I wanted to grab Apollo because he certainly is one of my greatest joys. And that's it. So yeah, I hope that everybody has an absolutely wonderful Memorial Day weekend in whatever you choose to do, and hopefully get some reading in, because like I said, I am going to get reading in this weekend if it kills me. And that's it. So enjoy your weekend, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you guys on Monday. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. So stay well, enjoy, and as always, I'll see you later.